Hi, this is Sarah here with DaBelly, and I'm here with Kenneth Design. This is David, Gargantua, Markandeya, Jared, and Kolby. I do have to start with asking how you got the name Gargantua.
Gargantua Slice was something that I came up with a while back, basically to say...
Short answer is drugs.
No, it didn't start with drugs.
Bad.
But it ended with them.
It's about being the drug. Gargantua Slice, because nothing's bigger. Get yourself a big bite.
Okay, so if you guys could talk a little bit about how you guys got started playing your instruments, and then how you guys all became a band. Do you want to start with you, David?
Started playing in high school, and been longtime friends with Jared here.
Yeah.
And he got me into this project after him. All of these done together the last 8 years. And they were like, hey, be in this band. And I was like, all right.
How long have you been drumming?
10 years or so.
The idea was essentially conceived from when we were in junior high school, drinking beer, listening to Metallica, getting drunk for the first time, and talking about how we're going to start a band together, bro, when we get older. And here we are now, 10 years later?
Okay, how did you meet these guys?
I tried out for a band called Frequis, which...
He was going to replace a female singer in our female-fronted band.
It was an interesting scenario. I really liked their sound, and I felt like they were professional enough for me to give them a whirl.
But he didn't get the gig.
Yeah, they were looking for more girls.
We needed larger boobs.
I needed some C cups. Or G cups.
man!
I just didn't have the cup for it,
We
so...
couldn't handle the bite, bro.
I think, BYTE. It's supposed to be a digital bite.
I think the best thing, though, when we first met is back when we were kind of like, I used to be smoking a lot more so in my studio, and this guy shows up in a DEA shirt and a gun, and just scares the total crap out of us. He got there. What was the DEA shirt then if it wasn't drug enforcement agent?
I think it had to do with a fitness company that my good friend who owns a weapons company basically had a very big interest in trying to create things that give it kind of a military or a law enforcement feel, and he wanted people to have that integration into their workout plan. So.
Why would you bring a gun on the day you meet?
Because I carry a gun everywhere I go.
Second Amendment.
Yeah, you gotta stand up for everything, man. You never know when you're gonna need that thing.
And so how did you guys meet Markandeya?
Actually, it was also through Frequis. Well, David's band too. Back when I used to support his group, Six Aside, they were playing a battle of the bands with his old school band, We Are They, and man, I was just blown the hell away. Like they were this total like alternative, progressive kind of band, this great sense of humor and personality, and I just had to say hi to all of them and pretty much be like, dude, you guys are so awesome. I was like, thanks, man. You're like the coolest bass player ever. He made a Dream Theater shirt, so that was really cool.
Awesome. That's how it all started. Yeah. He and I were just like retarded Dream Theater nuts. Like I play John Petrucci guitar.
David shows his cat.
David's a giant Mike Portnoy fan. He's on the bass with the bongo.
All right, and then how did Kolby become part of the group?
He was better than a testing facility.
I didn't want to talk at all. We're like the Frequis retard baby. We all know each other through Frequis.
Is that really the band is my other band?
Yeah, mine is me. His other guitarist. I didn't come with that. I was a student of Fitz, and he always talks about me.
Like, dude, this kid Kolby, he's like the best guitar player ever, man.
Like, I want to just like my girlfriend.
Okay, so how did you guys come up with Kenneth Design, and what was your focus when you first started compared to today? I mean, how did you guys progress as a band?
I came up with that name at a Dragon Force concert.
How?
Well, I was listening to a lot of Strapping Young Lad at the time.
I love Devin Townsend.
We worship the ground that man.
Our first song.
Talk after.
Listen to our first song is pretty much an homage to Strapping In.
Okay.
Anyway, so like I was hanging with my friend Matt, and like on Alien there's that song Zen.
Yes.
And that was kind of in my mind at the time, and I was just like,
Ken almost rhymes with Zen.
Cause like
whatever.
Like to me, like it's not a name that's just, it's not like, oh, like we're these big badasses, but at the same time it's like it's more than just like, oh,
we had a lot of names that we went through before that. I mean, we sat down and we were going through a lot of names in my living room, And there was just so many. What were some of the names that you guys had? Do we remember any of those?
What was the one that was like Stink Cyclone or what was? I can't
The
remember.
Smell Machine. I like that one.
Smell NATO.
Stink Lizard.
Stink Lizard. That was it.
I also like forecast lasers.
Yeah, with an exclamation point, I believe in that too.
Yeah, initially, like I wasn't too big of a fan of the name, but I wanted us to have some. We needed to decide on something because we wanted to move forward, and over time, I think it's really defined who we are as a
It
band.
captures the essence of it, because our whole band, the main driving focus behind the band is to not try to sound like a particular other band. Like we have a lot of influences, but we try to really kind of have our own kind of sound. And the name like Canada Zen is kind of, I think, showcases the fact that we don't really, march the beat of.
It's kind of quirky, It's a quirky sound, and we like to do things a little differently because, we try not to take ourselves too seriously, but we definitely take our musicianship seriously, and that's, I would say, would be our number one thing, and having a good time up there.
Yeah, you guys are definitely extremely talented musicians. So how do you take what you write in the studio? Talk about a little bit about your writing process, and how do you then bring that? Okay, and then bringing that alive on stage. You guys are very energetic, and you're able to capture the audience with your stage presence while still being very technical. You can talk a little bit. Okay.
If David doesn't like it, we make it a song. That's how we make it.
Yeah. David hates all of our material, really.
Mine is true.
He's always there. At least he's there, right?
We know we got a song where he says things he absolutely hates it.
We move pretty slow. We're
If
slow.
I shrug, it's a keeper.
Yeah, we're like, holy shit, he shrugs. We're good. We're good to go.
That's what we like. We like to see.
So that's the writing process. He shrugs. It's good.
I mean, like up till now, like I've written like a bulk of the stuff. There's one song, Depth Charge, which Jared brought a lot of the stuff to, but then like I helped him structure it, and then like a couple songs where I've written like 90% of it, and then they'll like help me figure out the structures and whatnot. So we're trying to do something different now, where like Kolby's working on a song and Jared's working on a song, and we're trying to write more collaboratively. So everybody's happy.
So is it something that you do by yourself, or is this a studio, or like you guys do it in the jam?
Well,
Jam pad
back when
together?
we started off, it was like a lot of it was me and you, like just meeting up, hanging out. Like we had no other musicians in the band, and we just jammed on songs, and like we're talking about Devin Townsend, like we don't have a lot of people around, local musicians, who are really into this kind of like more of extreme metal, quirkiness, not trying to be up your own ass serious.
But at the same time, going from like one extreme to another, and like oscillating through all these different sounds and doing like a lot of different things.
Okay, so how do you guys then bring that on stage? Like, talk about your stage presence. The first time I did see you guys was at the Villains Ball, where you guys were, you especially, were in costumes. How do you guys able to keep it fun on stage while you guys are playing?
I ran Kolby's balls before shows.
When it comes to our performances, we definitely want to ensure that we're constructing a set that's going to deliver a specific kind of message for that particular show. When we come into it, we're coming in with an idea that there is going to be a message by the end of the time we're playing there. So people feel like there's a complete circle there, and sometimes we're pulling things out on the fly, as far as the message. It could be politically driven, or it could be something of just like, we're more interested in having a good time up there.
One of the sections in Monkey Machine, actually, it's not actually permanently written. We leave a section permanently open just for him to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, whatever the topic of the night is.
Poetry or whatever, that way we can really get into the audience. But I think the majority of our songs have been constructed to kind of throw people off a little bit. We give them what they need, but we don't give it to them until we're ready to give it to them,
Okay. So what would you guys, if you had forced to, because I'm going to force you right now, to give us a genre and how you guys would describe your sound as somebody who's never heard you before, how would you do it?
I think the easiest thing is prog metal.
Okay.
Like prog rock, prog metal.
Okay.
Rush, Dream Theater, Devin Townsend, Opeth, Between the Buried and Me. We're just really into like.
Fantastic Heroes.
I like to say
bands who are fearless.
I'd like to say advanced metal, but these guys don't necessarily.
Sounds pretentious.
Yeah.
Pretentious, but it's like if you say progressive, the next part of being progressive and moving forward would be advanced. When I'm thinking about like language, for example, I try and think of the final word that you can use. That's maybe where Gargantua are using ultimate or colossal.
Metal.
But King of the Zen is really a circular way of describing how we get our point across by bringing people up, bringing people down, and then bringing them right to where they need to be in the center to really move forward in their own lives, not necessarily in a positive direction if they don't like our music. Then we don't like those people.
So can you go into a little bit more detail about your lyrics and about this message that you've been talking about?
These guys wanted why don't you let David answer that?
Will you please explain what his lyrics are?
Why don't you explain our message?
No idea. None about any song about at all.
I tried really hard though.
Yeah, what I like about your lyrics
for a long time.
What I like about your lyrics is your lyrics are very like ultimate conspiracy, like conspiracies beyond like that conspiracists would think are crazy.
Conspiracy in a conspiracy in a conspiracy in a conspiracy.
Can you give us an example?
Our most recent song that we constructed is called Meteor Blood. And that Meteor Blood Bath, or what was it?
Bubble bath.
Meteor Blood Bubble Bath.
Okay.
If you're trying to relax, you need a little bath. Maybe you need a little blood.
Right, obviously.
So anyway, that particular song, I think we tried to really convey a more of a straightforward approach, and I gave it more of an idea that maybe there's things that they're not telling us that could be heading this way, and they're preparing for it, but everybody is going about their daily lives and stuff, and it's about a meteor hitting the planet, but while there's numerous intelligence that directs my opinions to believe that they might be preparing for something that could be extremely dangerous to everyone on the planet, whether it's nuclear or it's a meteor. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. I think if you write lyrics that are too straightforward, then people can't make them their own. Like, I want people to be able to hear this stuff in their own way and make their own decisions about what they want to define them as opposed to me saying, this is how things are, and that's how all of these guys play. They come in and
Reggie.
they play what they feel like playing, man. Or girl. they come in and they put what they want down, and up to this point, we've kind of really been experimental as far as like feeling each other out on how we've been together almost 3 years now, and it's been a real struggle. We move slow. But I think, as the saying goes, if there's a tortoise and it has 4 legs, then it probably has a shell on its back, and it might have a beak, So I think that's,
radioactive term.
Okay. And you were talking to me a little bit about your staple, the eggplant.
Yeah.
Could you go into a little bit about that?
I think at one point there was an eggplant that came into the picture, and
we like it.
Just to take some sort of symbol, be like, this is absolutely meaningless, and then eventually people like eggplants kind of associating with our band because it was in.
One of those things too that we just like, we don't want to take ourselves too seriously as a metal band. Like even if we transcend into the extreme metal genre, we don't like to imply to the audience that we're like tough guys who want to fight or anything, or
Right.
yeah,
we're just like, no, dude.
Because my guitar's more metal than yours.
We don't get caught up in that, so we picked a very, the least metal thing that we can think of, and we came up with eggplants.
Right.
And we're like,
Because it's so dumb, it makes me laugh.
Well, unique and unassuming enough to kind of like be like, all right, well, I can stand behind that.
An eggplant.
Something that really,
Perfect.
stand up for.
You guys are about to take stage. We're looking very much forward to seeing you. What is 2014 looking for you guys? What is the future? What kind of goals do you guys have?
And more poop.
Survive.
So you're going to cleanse for the next year? You're going to cleanse?
Super detox.
Poop and cleanse.
Poop in as many toilets as I can.
I think he's got it right here. This is kind of what we'd like to end our message on.
We're going to conquer the world.
That's the old one, too. First to get some recordings,
Do you guys have an album in works or any kind of like major shows that you guys have coming up?
Well, a few experimental tracks, like from stuff that we've recorded like at the conservatory and whatnot.
Awesome.
But, and we're also doing our own recordings now for some of our new material.
Yeah, we've recorded all of our own stuff for the most part. That's one of the things I think we should really say too, is we take pride in the fact that not only we've written this music, but the majority of songs we plan on recording ourselves and saying that, hey, we can knock this stuff out ourselves and come up with a really quality product that everyone's going to enjoy. And as David said, we're going to conquer the girls.
There we go.
Okay, I said that with a straight face. Oh.
Well, you can't do it with a gay person.
No. Oh, that was good. Okay, so new album, hopefully, possibly by next year.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Boneyard, the carcass of humanity.
That's the name.
It's an idea I threw at it.
It's
Men
new.
wear,
Yeah.
and it's what men do.
Okay, so we definitely can find you guys on Facebook. Do you have Twitter? How can we go about finding you guys besides Facebook?
Right now it's just the Facebook and the Reverb Nation. But
Okay.
We got YouTube videos too. If you put in King of the Zen on YouTube, we've got videos that come up, and you can kind of see if you like it or
Bash us
not.
anonymously.
Yeah, what's the internet if you don't bash people anonymously?
We're
Exactly.
gonna have
That
Skype
sucks.
concerts. It's gonna go viral.
Awesome. Well, that is kind of the Zen and DaBelly, and we are out.
I'm David. Gargantua Slice.
I'm Markandeya. I'm Jared. And I'm Kolby. And we are King of the Zen.
And we're in DaBelly.